Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another value packed video. As always, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I am up over 90,000 buckaroonies across 36 funded accounts. That includes my Tradeful Live account. That includes my PA Apex accounts, right? They're funded accounts on Apex. That doesn't actually include the Lucid accounts because I can't figure out a way to connect the Rhythmic to TradeZella. But my Lucid straight to funded accounts, my Take Profit Trader accounts, my Top Step XFA accounts that are currently pretty much maxed out. If you guys follow me on Instagram, which you guys should, at It's Johnny, double O's, double N's, double Y's. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I've been documenting the whole thing, even on TikTok. So make sure you guys follow me there. But absolutely insane day. I mean, I think 55K alone came from the Top Step accounts because I made $11,000 off 5 accounts. So absolutely freaking insane day. And we're going to go ahead and break down all the trades I took today. So this is pretty much 100K. Over 100K that I made today, but I'm gonna put 90 because it's not on here because I have the Lucid straight to fundeds that I made about 2.2K on, and there are 5 of them. So yeah, it's over 100,000 across 36 funded accounts, which is absolutely freaking crazy. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the trade breakdowns, and hopefully you guys learn some stuff from this YouTube video. So let's get into it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go into replay mode because for you guys to really understand the reason on why I actually shorted for the first trade today, I need to bring you guys back to what London session did. Okay, so coming into London session, and I'll talk about how I got the bias going into New York, but we have to come back to London session so that way you guys understand why I got the bias going into New York when I woke up. So you could see London session right here. This is the 2 a.m. 4-hour candle. Now, pay attention to this 4-hour gap in the NWOG, right? We ended up flipping the new week opening gap here in the, I believe the Asia session. Yeah, the 10 p.m. 4-hour candle closed below. So did the 6 p.m. one. So we flipped the new week opening gap, and then 2 a.m. actually opened higher into it. So we had the reversal at 3 a.m. So I'll zoom into the 1 hour here in a second, but we had the 4-hour 2 a.m. candle tap into the 4-hour fair value gap. Same thing on ES. But the cool thing about today was that 2 a.m., the 4-hour candle was our manipulation candle. How do I know that? Because if you guys don't use YM right now with the indexes, make sure you guys are using YM because YM could be the missing piece in your analysis, you know, from wins and losses, okay? So make sure you guys are using YM. Anyways, we had an SMT divergence up here with YM. So if I open up the YM chart, you guys will see right here the same 2 a.m. candle here. We had an SMT at that high. You notice how YM doesn't have that 4-hour fair value gap. That doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that we took out the previous 4-hour candles high, so we had SMT there, okay? So that is our manipulation candle, and what did this manipulation candle actually do after it manipulated? It expanded into the Monday low, right? And it closed below. So what do we expect 6 a.m. when we have a profile or a signature like this? We expect 6 a.m. to continue lower and go into our nearest like draw on liquidity, right? Which was this weekly low down here, right? These two lows are relative equal lows. Same thing over here for ES, relative equal lows. That is a good draw on liquidity. But we did form SMT divergence there today with the NQ because NQ did reach that sell side target. So if I go ahead and fast forward, or actually let's jump on to the 1 hour time frame really quick, because you could see how 3 a.m. actually reversed right here. It took out that high. We caused the SMT with YM, and we absolutely dropped, okay? So if I start zooming into the 15-minute, and then I start fast forwarding into 8 a.m. Oh, let's not go that fast. Let's actually bring it back a little bit, because this is where I actually entered here. So when I notice all this displacement going lower, a lot of the times, dude, I've been doing this for a very long time, and a lot of times when we have these massive overnight expansions and a very, very clear draw on liquidity, like this is where I wake up. I don't trade London session, not usually. I don't trade London session, but when I woke up and I seen all of this happen, and I seen the 4-hour, you know, candles and all those signatures and framework, I was like, all right, given my experience and my intuition and everything, because I've been doing this for a long time, I already know that they're going to take the sell side either before market open or at market open. So my best bet is to get on side with this move here going into market open. So what did I do? I dropped down to the 5-minute time frame. I noticed, okay, we have 8 a.m. opening lower. It's expanding lower with no top wick, which is a little sus, right? We call that the devil's mark. So that could be a potential DOL later. Okay, stay with me. So we have a 815 open high into this 5-minute fair value gap, and I noticed that we make a new low. Okay, so this is telling me that this fair value gap, this fresh PD array right here, this fresh fair value gap is being respected because we are making a new low. We broke the low, we closed below, we closed the body below this low right here, this local low. All right, so now I hop on to the 1 minute and I'm like, all right, so I want to short the lows, right? This is a short the low type of day, which is not something I usually like doing. However, given the framework on the 4 hour and what happened overnight, and usually what I've seen across, 6 years of trading, I already know that we have a very clear draw on liquidity, and I already know that the market is probably going to dump into there around pre-market or right before market open or at market open, because that's usually what they fucking love doing, and you guys already know that they do. What I looked at here was this 1 minute fair value gap, and if we inversed it, I was going to enter. So this next 1 minute candle inverses it, and that's literally where I entered. You guys can't be scared to enter a trade like this if it fits everything, if it fits your context, if it fits your narrative, if it fits everything. If you have a clear draw on liquidity, don't be scared to short something like this, even if it's already expanded so much overnight. Because if we have a clear draw on liquidity and that 6 a.m. 4-hour candle should continue lower after the manipulation in London, we should expect this 4-hour candle, the 6 a.m. one, to continue to our objectives, which there was another objective right above this sell side, which was right here, right? So if I mark that out, I forget which level this was. This was the 23.07675 level. Okay, so if I go back to the 5 minute, we short that 1 minute inverse, and then if I just play this, you guys can see what happens, right? We come all the way down, we hit a new, check this out, we hit a new fresh 5 minute fair value gap right here. We hit a brand new one right there. Boom, tapped it, we drop, we hit that first one. Okay, ITP'd most there, and then I wait for market open. So what did market open do? Boom, hits that last sell side, the main objective for the day. Now, I did tell my group, I did tell everybody in my group, because I was supposed to go live, right? We were supposed to live trade, but usually when it does expand this much and it hits that main objective in pre-market or at market open, the AM session is a lot lower probability. However, today was actually really good at market open with the 10 a.m. news. So we did have a massive move down at 9:30 to hit that main objective, right? But that's not all. So if we go to the 15 minute, you'll see that we had a nice range here at 8:45, right? And a 15-minute fair value gap here at 8:30. So if we mark that out real quick, in 9:30 open low, plus the SMT with ES at that, at the lows over here, right? The external lows at that weekly low, we had that SMT with ES and I believe YM, correct? No, I think we just had it. Wait, we did have it with YM. I just noticed it on ES. But we did have that external low SMT when 9:30 hit that main objective that I was looking at for NQ. So if we go to the 1 minute now, we had a 15-minute range right here. So we manipulated lower. This is the 9:30 opening price right here. So if I could bring this up. Okay, so you can see how it marks it out right there. So 9:30 equities opening price. So this is the CISD if we can close above it. And this is the first presented fair value gap right here, the 931. Now, if you guys don't know why this is the first presented fair value gap, please go watch ICT's video. I'm not going to explain it in this video, but it has something to do with the RTH. Okay, so the RTH takes it out. We form a fair value gap, take some sort of liquidity out on RTH, which was the sell side here. That becomes the first presented fair value gap. If you guys want more information on that, go watch ICT's video about how you disqualify the first presented fair value gap, something like that. It's a video of his, pretty popular one. Go watch it if you guys are confused as to why 9:30 was the first one and not like whatever it was, like 9:35 or something. We have the CISD, we have the first presented fair value gap here, and we have a 15-minute range, right? So if we fast forward to the next 1 minute candle, boom, we get that 1 minute CISD. We flip the first presented fair value gap. So this is where you would enter long if you are long biased. Plus, remember how 8 a.m. actually opened lower with no top wick? That is called the devil's mark, and this is usually a pretty good DOL if you are aiming for if you're looking for that, right? And if you just market entered here, this is a 1.99. If you had a stop down here, this is a nice 2.91 RR, right? I like to give my stops a little bit of breathing room. As long as it's a 1.5 or above, I actually like those trades. And I like giving my stops a little bit of breathing room. Even if it is a 50, 60, 70 point stop, well, you know what? You can just reduce the size. It doesn't need to be you know, it doesn't need to be big size all the time, guys. If it's a big stop, a wide stop, just reduce your size. It's literally almost the same thing. So if we fast forward this, you can see what happens here. We take out that 15-minute range high. We hit the 15-minute fair value gap. And now what's left, right? We have a 1 hour fair value gap up here, but we have that 8 a.m. devil's mark. We don't have a wick on the 8 a.m. candle, which is already sus in itself, right? So if we just fast forward this, boom, we hit that 8 a.m. devil's mark, and that would be the TP. That's personally where I would TP. But, you know, if you were aiming for the 1 hour fair value gap, that is also a good TP spot right there. And if you were just looking at the 5-minute, we also had a 5-minute change in delivery. We also had a 1 hour range with the TP being the 8 a.m. high. So that was the first trade that I took. I did not take this trade because, again, I thought AM session was going to be lower probability. I'm just showing you guys a good trade. If you guys capitalized on these longs, good fucking job. But that was the longs that you could have took in the morning up until the 10 a.m. news. And let me show you guys the other trade that I took in power hour. Okay, so going into the afternoon session, let me just go ahead and delete a lot of this stuff because we don't need it anymore. We go to the 15-minute time frame, and I just open up these other charts here. I just don't want this to get super messy. If we open up these other charts here, you'll see that ES actually ended up making an SMT divergence under the it was a 10 a.m. 4-hour candle. So we took out the previous 4-hour candle's low over here, but we did not on NQ or YM. So that prompted a nice little pullback or a retracement higher. We inverse this important 15-minute fair value gap, right? So if you were bearish here and we inverse this fair value gap, then you would probably most likely want to flip bullish because of the SMT. Because if you're looking for this next draw on liquidity for ES, this fair value gap should have held. There's no reason for this fair value gap to inverse. So it inverses, that's where you would want to change your bias. So we had nice displacement higher. And we also had a 15-minute range here that was completed. And I was telling people in my group, right, that I wanted to see this fair value gap here hold. If this inverts, I would expect a new low of day on NQ and YM. Now, it did not invert, right? This next 15-minute candle sweeps the range low, completes this little mini 15-minute candle range, right? And then we end up getting a nice little SMT with YM right here at 245. So if I fast forward this on NQ, we push up and then we get the 1-minute CISD. So this is pretty much the flow state V2 or regular flow state, right? Remember, with flow state, if we tap a higher time for PDA array, what are we looking for? A change in the state of delivery, right? So we get a change in the state of delivery. Once it starts pumping, I pretty much market enter here, stop down here, and I'm expecting, you know, a new morning high because of the displacement that we had on the 15-minute. So I'm expecting power hour to push up since 2 p.m. was just a retracement lower into, you know, equilibrium of this displacement range right here. You can see we hit discount, we hit the discounted 15-minute fair value gap. We got a 1-minute change in the state of delivery. We closed back in the range. We had SMT with YM. Execute here. Aim for a new morning high, which was up here at the 10 a.m. high. And I mean, you can see how this plays out perfectly, right? So boom, boom, boom. We wait for a little bit. Power hour comes up. So it's the last macro of the day, the 350 to 410 macro. And I mean, you can see how this plays out even after hours. So we end up ripping here up until 410. And people want to say macros are not a real thing. I don't know, man. I've made fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars off of macros. So just knowing that macros are going to do something has really boosted like the confluences and confidence in my trades. So it's just a good thing to have, and it makes sense. If you don't know why it doesn't make sense, let me know. If you guys don't think macros are real, or you guys don't really know why they make sense, comment down below. I'll make a freaking video on macros, and why they're so important. But if you guys do understand them, there's no need to. But if you guys don't, let me know. It'd be a really interesting video to make, I think. But that's going to be the recap on how I am up over 100 grand, including the Lucid accounts, across all of my funded accounts. Absolutely insane day. Great start to September. And hopefully we can keep this going. And hopefully this probably will be my biggest month in trading, because last month in August was my biggest month at, I think, 393 or something like that. Absolutely crazy. About 30% of that was realized with prop firms. So I'm aiming for another 100K month here in September. And the fall months and the winter months are my absolute best months. But bro, it's not just me that's banking every single day, bro. I mean, you could see my students here. I didn't even go live. I told you guys I didn't go live this morning, but you can see my students here. Bassin 762, bro. Alex 1636. Renee with this I think 15 Apex accounts. He's hitting base hits, bro. Claire, 471, 208 times 2 on both. Let's see, Scotty, right? 272 on his funded account. Jawad, 559 on his funded account. NATO trades times 14, bro. Times 14. $2,000 times 14. Let's go. Jael, 784. Seth L, 1488 on his funded. 155K. I think this is an Express account. 5.2K with Christo. Bro, we are absolutely just banking every freaking day. It is absolutely insane. If you guys want more one-on-one help like these guys, you guys can apply for that to work with me with the first link in the description down below. But other than that, it's going to be the full recap of the trades that I took today. Hopefully you guys gained some value. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys missed something today and you guys learned something from this video, leave me a like, comment, sub. And if you guys want to work directly one-on-one with me, again, that first link in the description down below or the pinned comment in the comments down below. You guys can apply with that link directly to work one-on-one with me. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoy your day. Appreciate you guys watching the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.